Hi, my name is Paul Sundin and I'm with Emparian. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a concept that doesn't come up too often, but it's called vesting. And we're going to talk a little bit about how vesting works on a traditional cash balance plan, differences between graded vesting, cliff vesting. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the specifics, give you a few things that you can consider when setting up your plan. Okay? So before we dive in though, make sure you like the video, subscribe, also leave a comment down below in the descriptions. We'll also have a link down there so you can get a free illustration or set up a call with us if you want to talk to us a little bit more about vesting and how it works. That being the case, let's just jump into it. So vesting sometimes is difficult for people to grasp, but vesting really just means ownership. You can allocate funds to a person. So if I get money allocated to me, it's only allocated to me, but I don't have ownership of those funds until I've met specific vesting requirements. And typically that's going to be just time. So traditional vesting for a cash balance plan is what we would do is we would do 1 year eligibility and 3-year vesting. So people aren't eligible in their first year, but then once they're eligible, there's a contribution, then there's a 3-year vesting requirement. So money is going to get attributed to them or allocated into the plan for them. They get a certain amount of money, but if they leave within 3 years, they don't get to take that money with them and roll it over into an IRA. The money has to, it gets forfeited in that example and rolls back into the plan and goes to offset future contributions, okay? So a lot of times we'll talk to a client and a client might say, well, geez, I'm allocating $20,000 to my employees and that's too much. Well, if you've got younger employees, lower paid employees, they might actually terminate, so they might actually leave every year or two, in which case it doesn't matter if you're making a contribution to them because it's all going to get forfeited back into the plan and actually roll back to the owners, okay? So sometimes we would say for an owner, we'd like to get 85 to 90% for the owner, but sometimes when you factor vesting, you're really going to get 90, 95% to the owner because a lot of those contributions are going to get forfeited back. Again, traditionally we'd have 1 year eligibility, 3-year vesting. You also can structure plans with 2-year eligibility and 2-year vesting, meaning once you contribute to them, they own the money, they have it, they can take it. That can make sense if you've got a lot of people that turn over in the first couple years. 2-year vesting can make a lot of sense. We also have with profit sharing plans, you'll typically have what's called graded vesting, which means you would vest over time. When you look at a traditional cash balance plan, you would do 3-year cliff vesting. Cliff vesting is just sort of like it sounds. You fall off a cliff. You've got 0, and then once you hit the 3 years, it's 100%. Whereas graded vesting, you get 20%. So if you had 5-year graded, you'd get 20% ownership each year until you're fully vested at the end of year 5. So if I had 100,000 in with 20% vesting in year 1, then I have ownership. I've got $10,000 allocated to me, but I've only got ownership of $2,000 after year 1. After year 2, I've got $4,000. Year 3, $6,000, and so forth. That is called graded vesting, or sometimes you'll say tiered vesting, step vesting. So it vests over time. You'll traditionally see that with a profit sharing plan when owners contribute, when employees contribute on a 401k on the deferral side. That's their money. That's 100% vested. Also, safe harbor matches will be 100% vested, but you're going to have a typical vesting schedule with profit sharing plans, okay? Sometimes we talk to owners where it's a solo plan and they say, well, I want, immediate vesting. I don't want 3-year vesting. Well, immediate vesting can help you if you want to take a loan out from the plan because you can only borrow from funds that are fully vested, allocated to you. But for an owner that says that, I would say, it really doesn't matter that much because if you don't want to take money out of a plan, if you're trying to get loans, if you're trying to take loans against it, which most of our clients don't, we typically have a high income professional group, it typically isn't an issue. So with that group, it can make sense, but realistically, I think there's this misnomer that people think that, well, what if I terminate the plan? What if my business goes under and I terminate the plan in 2 years? If I'm not fully vested, then I'm going to lose all that money. And I would say, no, that's not the case, because as the business owner, if in 2 years you had to terminate the plan early, you would, we'd give you plan documents to actually terminate the plan. When you terminate, employees would become, all your employees would become fully vested. If you're the only employee, you're going to be fully invested in that money, and you'll be able to roll it all over into a 401k or an IRA at that point. So again, for an owner, which a lot of our plans are, vesting isn't really a big deal, because if you terminate early, you know, it's going to roll over automatically. When you have employees, vesting can be a bigger deal. Absolutely, investing becomes very important to people in that situation. But you know, vesting is something you want to think about up front. If you've got employees, think about how this ties into your overall structure. Think about what you're trying to accomplish. You could do immediate vesting. I mean, so when you contribute to employees, they own that money. That is absolutely fine. Most owners, though, will look for something a little bit more restrictive, like a 3-year vesting. That was a quick overview, though, on the vesting. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I hope you liked the video. I hope it was educational. Please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below, and hopefully we can help you out with a plan and structure a plan that's right for you and your business.